Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Ramadan Mubarak to you all. Thank you for inviting me here today to speak about this prevalent and key issue that we face as a society together in our local communities and wider than that too. So before I start, I just wanted to quote something because somebody might be thinking, well, knife crime, why are we talking about it in Ramadan? Why is it a key important issue now? Why is it being brought up and brought to our attention at this time? I just want to quote the Sahaba from our Prophet's time. And Abu Huraira reported that it was quoted that he said, "He who pointed a weapon towards his brother, the angels invoke curse upon him, even if he is his real brother, so long as he does not abandon it." The idea that pointing any implement or blade or weapon and the angels curse you. So we know from this alone, this one particular statement and this one hadith alone, that we are not from a religion and a faith of violence. We are a religion and faith of peace. And Islam is, in its essence, just that. So when we say we look around in our 21st century with our youth experiencing this violence that's become very much topical, more so now than in a long time, we say, how is this happening? Why is this happening? This didn't happen X number of years ago. This didn't happen when my parents first arrived here. We felt safer then. Actually, if you look back in history, youth violence has been prevalent for the past 200 years, and the contributing factors have been the same for around the same amount of time. And when we think about what are the contributing factors, we can look into that in more detail shortly. But I just want to tell you my own experience, having been an educator in and around London for the past 20 years. It's not something that has come up recently. I've taught students that have been affected by youth violence, have been victims of, and have also been perpetrators of youth violence. And it's tragic. Any life lost in any capacity is absolutely tragic. And wherever we can, we should be aiming to prevent these tragic fatalities or injuries taking place. But you might have heard about a month ago, our esteemed Prime Minister mentioned that teachers need to take more responsibility towards this problem that's growing. And if she was aware, she would know that actually teachers already have a responsibility towards our students. When we're teaching, we're loco parentis. That means we are there in the place of parents. We look out for the students as their parents would. That's what loco parentis means. And we have a duty and responsibility to our students. It's called safeguarding, and we do it in every capacity. And safeguarding could be we're worried about students' well-being because we're worried about their mental health, we're worried about whether or not they're eating, whether or not they have somewhere safe to sleep at night. Safeguarding covers a whole host of areas of concern, including ones where we feel students would be victims of or involved in youth violence. So the entire argument that she's brought to the table is actually superfluous to requirements because we already do this in an already stretched and overworked sector. But I've been invited here today to say, well, what can we do about it? What can we do about it? And I ask the young members of our congregation today to just take a minute and think, right, what can I do about it? If you are a teenager, if you are a young person, if you associate with the word youth, then my advice to you would be, and especially to the young brothers amongst us, who as teenagers, we feel like we're invincible, we are the next heroes, we are the next Marvel agents. Actually, you can't argue with a knife. If somebody's asking you, approaching you, and being threatening in any manner, capacity, and they want what you have, nothing is worth your injury, your parents' worry, your safety and well-being. Give it to them, whatever it is, a phone, your wallet, your Oyster card, whatever it is, because it's just not worth it. And that would be my advice to the young people amongst us today. But those are not the only people affected by youth violence. As a parent, I worry that every time my son leaves the house, I want to know, where is he going? Is he going to be safe? Who is he with? What is he taking with him? And we've stopped using cash. We don't use cash anymore because that sometimes brings more problems than it needs to. So where you can take preventative measures, use a card. You know, you can't mug a student or a person for a card. It's of no value to anybody else apart from the person that can use it. And we've told the children, we've said, if somebody approaches you, give it. Whatever they want, just give it. The phone, the card, whatever it is, just give it. It's just not worth it. But as parents, what can we do? Because we worry. We can't help but. As a mother, I worry. I know my husband as a father worries. We have a teenage son. So we say, we want to know where you're going. Go with a purpose. Don't go loitering, because that's only idle hands we know are can end up doing things that are not meant to happen. Go with a purpose. Go with company. Know when you're going. Know when you're coming back. Can you drop and collect your son? Or do they need to take public transport? All those kinds of things that can help the situation and alleviate the situation. And keep that dialogue of communication open between yourself and your teenager as a parent. There's research to show that a teenage child, male or female, needs just as much attention and time from their parent as a newborn. So just think about that. Just because they can wash themselves and clothe themselves and feed themselves, they still need you in a different way, but they still need you. And I know that we can be all consumed by the digital world around us and the technology around us, but nothing beats face-to-face contact, face-to-face conversations, and physical presence. And we're all busy, I understand that. We all live very busy lives, but it's important to make the time to connect and reconnect. So if there is something pressing or troubling your teenager, they know that where you are if they need to say something. They know where you are if they want to talk to you about a problem. And what else can we do for the activists or the politically engaged among us? Well, we can put pressure on our local councillors. We can put pressure on our local MPs to say, well, if this is a problem in Harrow, what are you doing about it? You're my representative. You have some power and control over how we spend our funds. Where are the police force on our streets to keep us safe? How are you spending our money? It is our money. So if we want to bring this issue to the forefront, then we can do that as members of a constituency, as members of a local community. So there are 4 things that you can do. As a member of the youth, you can decide what kind of action you will take. Don't be a hero, would be my advice. Give them whatever it is they want. As a parent, keep the dialogue and communication open between yourself and your teenager, and be preventative. Know, arm yourself with knowledge. What are they doing? Who are they seeing? When are they going? When are they coming back? Not helicopter parent, but just preventative. And as activists, as people who are part of an engaged local community, bring this issue to the forefront of the people that represent you, where they can make a difference and make some decisions that will help safeguard our local community. Thank you so much for your time today. Jazakallah.